Welcome back to the second episode, and I think it's pretty apparent that this episode is going to be, it's mostly going to consist of trying to stabilize ourselves. Oh, I almost accepted an alliance there, because I thought it was just military access. This is a pretty hard decision, honestly. I could just boost autonomy in these provinces, and I think that might be the easiest way to actually handle them, but it's pretty devastating to do that. Where are these Oryat separatists? Do I begin? Yeah, there we go. Flip. Okay, I didn't realize I should have boosted autonomy there before it was too late. These Oryat separatists are basically destined to spawn. I'm trying to think if it's more wise to actually deal with them. Or spend our military points in there, and I think we are actually going to deal with them. But this is going to be a big revolt. We're really kind of counting on the hopefully they don't spawn in this mountain province. I'm going to go ahead and put my entire force in this mountain province, so that if they spawn here, we will be fighting a defensive battle. But it's either one or the other. We can't really split it between both, in my opinion, and be effective. So I think I'll go ahead and boost the speed. And we might find ourselves attacking in a year's time if it is somebody who's looking very vulnerable. I'm not sure where the peasants are. Yes, I am. Peasants are there. But as our war exhaustion reduces and we boost our stability shortly... Oh gosh, I think I value karma. So we're going to take most negative events if they give us additional karma. Let's hope these Oryat separatists are not too bad when they spawn. And of course they're both in the mountains, the jerks. Thankfully his general is not very good. We should be able to handle this. I hope. We completely consist of infantry, which is not good at all. In fact, if I just stand in these two locations, then we can actually take a defensive battle. It's a much wiser thing to do. Okay, form an alliance with Ming. I would love to do that, but I don't think that's feasible. In due time, if we had a royal marriage and had our relations really high with trust, he would probably flip friendly. The problem with that is, as we expand, he's going to... It's inevitable that he will desire our land, so I don't think that's going to happen. Go ahead and cancel these missions, because I don't think any of them were very desirable at all. Taking a defensive battle, nice, into the mountains, excellent. Well, those Oryat separatists were not too bad at all. I'm going to wait till these Tengri zealots, the revolt, diminishes completely. And then I'm going to go ahead and convert the rest of my land. Now we have completed that mission, we can see that our, well, as well as this, our conversion strength is pretty darn good, so that's really nice. And hopefully we're going to be pretty stable here shortly. It's always just so RNG based, that's how it seems, which nations prevail over in this location and which don't. Very interesting. Looks like maybe Karadel will be pretty free if he does not have any allies, and that's actually a Buddhist province, so that's very good. Okay, nice. Those religious zealots have disappeared. Now these peasants should not be too hard to deal with. And it looks like we're going to be going back to war sooner than I had anticipated, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, we're going to find our country really, it's going to become really backwards as we fall so far behind in admin, and being a horde is going to take so long to actually tech up. But that's honestly kind of inevitable. That's just how it is. Sitting back and I'm just thinking here, in fact, let's stay at -1 stability. Who cares? Let's get our religious unity higher before I boost my stability. That's how much I value my admin. Oh gosh, these are all brutal. I was just saying that I think in this circumstance, sitting back and not capitalizing on the circumstances is not a wise thing to do at all. We have to at least beat out the competition, beat out our neighbors, even if it's going to make us very backward. It would be really nice to get a technology, like some colonists, nice and early, and some tech, but we're going to have to put that on the back burner. This guy's got military technology 3, just like we do. So hopefully, as our general, well, his general is slightly better with his shock, but hopefully with our numbers we can just eliminate this fool. Look at Oriet's location of his units. If he was to get some unrest, he may be incapable of actually preventing the rebels from making their demands, being successful. But this is basically like the most Let's Play-ish run that I have done so far. And make sure to give me feedback on what you guys enjoy. I think the goal is probably going to be, well, to conquer our neighbors, to say the least, but I really don't think that's going to be too hard. Maybe if we are able to gain a victory over Ming, maybe that's when I'll call this a run. But I'm pretty confident that we can rapidly expand into at least all of these neighboring hordes. Just a matter of time until we become more dominant. Okay, we can do that because I'm going to go to war with that guy soon. Oh gosh, I don't think we've had a single positive event, have we? The brutality is real. I think our economy is doing well enough. Seems that way to me. If we can just keep on eliminating nations entirely, then we should be able to just rob them of all of their cash. Is it because my stability is low that I keep getting these events? I don't know. I'm hella bad at this game. Got a nice 12 force limit there. Unfortunately, we're still pretty dependent on mercenaries because our manpower is completely kaput. So we could go into Korchin or Bayreuther. I don't know which is the smartest. This keeps giving me missions to take land from Oriet, but I have a truce with them for 9 more years. Stop it. If we take land from Korchin, some of it is Buddhist. But I think I want to get rid of Bayreuther. His tech... Oh! Oh boy. He just suddenly got a lot bigger. In that case... if we were to fully annex him, all of it would be the wrong religion. I think we might just take all of this Buddhist land from Korchin. That way it will be incorporated really nicely. Do it. We could reconquest, but I'm going to go ahead and take tribal food. Because I have no intention of... well, I have every intention of taking all of this land, and I think it's more efficient to do it that way. He's got a total of 3k. He should be a pushover, hopefully. Looks like Hyexai doesn't have an ally, but he may have an ally shortly with Ming. Looks like he's working on that. If he doesn't have an ally, then he shouldn't be. He should be a bit of a pushover, hopefully, as well. We should be stronger than him once we take this land, and hopefully we can just continue snowballing. This is pretty fun, actually. I remember back when I first started playing this game, I really wanted to play as the Mongols, but I was just simply terrible in comparison to how much I've learned now, the experience I have. And yeah, I think getting the Great Khan as Mongolia would be pretty cool because, like I said, everybody seems to take the easier alternative. I personally think the main reason the Golden Horde is easier, obviously they don't, well, they're quite simply more powerful and they don't start as a subject. But the main significant reason I think they're more powerful is simply because they start nearer to Russia. And ultimately, I think basically Russia and then Persia and then China, that's kind of the first to last kind of threat ratio when it comes to this achievement of conquering or subjugating those 3 regions. The fact that the Golden Horde starts near Russia means he can work on them first, and it's in the early game where your military tech is on par with each other, and with that in mind, the Horde units are probably better. Is straight up superior in the early game and very inferior, in my opinion, towards the the mid and late game. Another thing that is hugely significant, if you look at this, reform the government, you can see here that our tech type will change to Chinese. Again, it will change to Chinese if we reform the government, which is hardly better than Nomad Group. It's the next tier up. Whereas if the Golden Horde reforms the government, then they will get Muslim tech group, which is essentially the 3rd from best. I know there's Anatolian as well, but in my opinion, it's very similar to Eastern. Okay, we have no loans. We're making a bit of money. I guess we probably value military power more than Diplo. And maybe I can hire all 3 advisors shortly. Well, let's just see how much money or how our economy is doing once we peace out. Yeah, so I think the plan in terms of the long game, Muscovy typically seems to take so long to get their colonial ideas nowadays. And it's because they take so much land that they, similar to what we're going to be doing, it takes them so long to get the idea group, and if they don't get that idea first, then it's going to be a long time till they get their second idea group. I guess the plan is if we can essentially become Russia and block him in, hopefully, even if he is superior to us in many ways, hopefully we can overwhelm him with our gigantic might and wealth. This area is really quite affluent. I mean, we're getting a big chunk of those ducats there, and as we push into Asia, there's just more and more money at our disposal. Okay, so I really wish we could eliminate this guy off the map entirely, quite honestly, but it's not going to happen. I'm not going to take that province. We could vassalize him. What remain? No, apparently I can't. I guess because I don't have a occupation there. But yeah, that will do. That will do. That's another really nice big chunk, which all happens to be Buddhist. Meaning that we don't really have to worry about the unrest. I can just go ahead and boost the autonomy if the Korchin separatists are getting close to spawning. Okay, so the obvious rival is Hyexai, who is not rivaling Korea, damn it. Hoping that Korea had a rival of Hyexai. Because that might make us friendly with them, but it looks like that's not going to happen. Look at that Mongolia, guys. Soon we will be winning the font battles. It looks like Ming is slightly larger than us, but it's because they have an OP short name. Oh, I just realized that our power projection is almost 50. That's pretty badass. Yarkand or Hyexai? I think Hyexai would serve as a good vassal, and I think it's a good time to attack him whilst we are stronger than he is, and more importantly, whilst he doesn't have any allies. He seems pretty vulnerable right now. So perhaps one thing we could do is, if we take a look at these cultural groups, I have basically the entire eastern side of this cultural group, and inevitably we're going to be pushing into this. Perhaps I should try to push into that, and perhaps I should take Hyexai as a vassal and feed him the Manchu area and even the Chinese area in the future. Maybe that is wise. I don't know. Wait, who are we embargoing? Wait, what? What? Did I... Okay. Apparently I'm just going crazy. I didn't even remember doing that, but I'm sure you guys do, because it is recorded. I was trying to improve relations with him, I thought. Okay, Hyexai has the same tech as me. His general is not that much better. We should be good. Our stability is still low. Brutal. I think if this goes off without a hitch, we're probably the most powerful nation in the region, I would suspect. At least out of the competition of the hordes, that is. We're not quite. We don't... No! We're warned? I did not realize. And that disappoints me. Damn it. We have been warned. How dare you, Ming. Maybe Yarkand will put up enough of a fight to where Ming doesn't want to support AXI in a battle. We could attack Bayretta easily. It's an option, but I'm a little bit concerned about our stability being even worse. Or I suppose we could just YOLO attack Ming. He's not that tough. He's pretty tough. If we could tech up, maybe. He's incredibly tough. You get that? That's crazy. I really wanted to attack Hyexai. Because he would make the perfect little vassal. At least we can, let's go up to speed 5 then in that case, if we're going to be at peace. We can allow our stability, our admin to increase, and then we can increase our stability. Maybe if we're lucky and this war drags on, we can attack Hyexai. But we will see. You're such a jerk, Ming. Why do you do this to me? One thing that I really like about having our capital in Asia, we can actually colonize land here, like around in the Philippines, where the base tax is actually really high. It's actually really high. Like, there are some... Nice. Culture accepted. Some provinces are very valuable, and it will actually have 0 autonomy. They will not be overseas because our capital is in Asia. So that's a nice little bonus. 2 unrest for a year? That's not the end of the world. Okay, so our next war is going to be against Bayretta, I think, because they're just so vulnerable looking. But I'm going to allow ourselves to sort of stabilize a little bit. We're just so far behind in admin, there's no point in really taking land. We might as well just wait. But I hope you guys enjoyed. As you can see, we are continuing to increase our strength and essentially just perpetuate out of control. There goes our terrible heir. That is nice. Go ahead and hire a new advisor. Yeah, so we're becoming the most influential horde once again, returning Mongolia to its former glory. And I hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to tune in and see how things go, I would be happy to have you guys watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.